Good afternoon, everyone. This is Professor Hill. It's a short video for our class, Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 here at St. Philip's College for the first summer term. And it turns out today is Friday, the 30th of June, the last day of June. And guys, our class is coming to an end because we have less than a week left. We have an assignment due this Sunday night. And then less than a week from now, next Thursday, we have our last essay due, and that'll be the final assignment, the final requirement for the course. So we have been over the last few weeks reading a chapter, looking at a case study, bringing those concepts in. That should always be like the first thing you do from now on the essays. Just make sure, right there up front, in chapter 5, Doing Ethics by Lewis Vaughn, he talks about this term or this concept, and just build that in and apply it to the case study, because we're looking at a case study now, the Nash family. It's medical ethics. It's super complicated. So it does take a little time to work your way through it, to think about it, apply the concepts, and then write about it in your essay. That's why we've had the week to look at it. And it turns out that I mentioned yesterday in my video, last night, that eugenics is involved. And if you're not familiar with eugenics, it's kind of the practice of trying to manipulate the genetic quality of human beings to make humans better. And you can see how that kind of starts innocently enough. We have diseases. If there was a way to kind of exclude them from our whole genetic pool and rid human beings of these debilitating or even, fatal diseases, then yeah, we should figure that out. In fact, we spend lots of money, billions of dollars, on cancer research, trying to figure out the causes of cancer, how to prevent cancer, how to treat it. And a lot of this involves our understanding of genetics and how it works and how it applies to us. The problem is, and this is the downside, is that we have a really bad history with this. Because you move beyond helping people through medicine, and you find that we have a long history of people trying to say, well, we can improve human beings by, excluding this undesirable population, whoever, is making that call. Famously, the Nazis did lots of genetic testing because they had this kind of racial purity identity, and they were saying, well, how can we do this? How can we look? They have an ideal kind of Aryan race, and they're like, well, how can we get everybody, all the human beings on the planet, to kind of look more and more like this? And you can see where this just goes off the track in terms of racism to genocide to, you end up with the camps. But apart from that dramatic, significant, huge kind of, nadir, that was just the bottom of the well, was the Nazis. The fact of the matter is, genetics and our understanding of genetics and eugenics, this kind of ideal trying to manipulate the genes, it's been around a long time. And I'm going to put a link into a history of how genetics played a really important, significant role in the history of the United States. And you can see, again, where as the idea develops, people kind of, I think at some point, they had to think their way through the implications and get a grip on, oh yeah, there might be some potential good here, but there's lots of potential bad. And how that unfolded in the 19th, 20th centuries. We've got a bad history here as well. And it took us a long time to figure out that, oh, okay, we just, as a species, really need to get a handle on our ethics and get that, our cultural values, out in front as the science progressed. And it turns out that, again, we have a bad history of having the technology advance quickly and then us trying to catch up to it and decide, well, should we be doing that or not doing that, and why? What should be the controls on this? All of that is kicking around in this medical ethics case. Because this was a case of first impression. It was the first time they were saying, hey, look, what you can do is you can just create another whole human being And then we'll be able to use, the stem cells, the cells from that new person as a treatment for this existing child. So why don't you go do that? And it raises some really profound questions about why do we have children? Is it okay to have children as tools or instruments for medical treatment of another person? Again, this case is complicated because you're talking about a family. They do have a second child, Adam. They use that to save the sister, Molly. And they're happy. And it's not like they kind of used and discarded Adam. They welcomed a new child into their family. And so it's kind of complicated in that the decision to have the child was multifactorial. There were lots of reasons why, one of which is they wanted a larger family, wanted to have kids. But also, let me be clear, one of the factors was, and the one driving the decision and the process of how they went through this genetic process to pick and select this particular child that would have the characteristics they needed for the medical treatment. So it was very much an intentional decision and process. You can't get out from under that. But then it comes back to, what's the reason why? What's the justification behind it? So again, you have kind of lurking in the background our bad history with eugenics. And then the question is this going to be an acceptable, morally justified exception to this? Or should we not be doing this at all? Those are big questions we need to wrestle with when you're talking about the Nash family and what you think about it. And again, don't jump into, I can tell you the mind of the Nash family and then describe it using the concepts from the chapter. Don't do that. I want to know what you think about what they did. I want you to make a moral judgment and then describe your thinking. If you think it's justifiable, why? If you think it's morally unacceptable, why? What's the basis of that? What's the moral theory behind your judgment? So wrap all that in there. And check out the links. I'll put it in with the link to today's video. Also, if you've got questions, let me know. I've been trying to field those as they come in. The college is closed today because during the summers we close on Fridays. But again, this being a short class and, it only being 5 weeks, I want to make sure to stay ahead of the curve here with people. And so if you do need me, send me a message through Canvas. You can reach me through my cell phone. You've got that number. You can text me, call me, whatever. All right. Take care. Talk to y'all soon. Keep reading and writing. Don't forget, Sunday night is your essay. And then we'll have just a few more days. We'll have Monday to Thursday of next week. And we'll be done. All right. Take care, y'all. Bye.